Coming up on JBYC, let's air our dirty laundry.
You have to fight for your right to dry your clothes.
And the chemistry of wrinkles.
All that and more on today's episode of JBYC.
Jump the bus, you coward.
Meet Ted.
What?
Ted's having a rough week.
We're going to do that over again because I got a really
You
good
did
one.
last week's.
Yeah, I did last week's. I'll just cut in us doing the intro real fast.
Radio edit.
Boop. This is Bobby's cue. Boop.
Thanks. All right, I'll start here. All that and more on today's episode of JBYC.
Just bleach your clothes.
Meet Ted. Ted's having a rough week. A very rough week.
I mean, what would my grandma say if she saw the kids looking dingy?
How did I not think of money laundering?
Hey everybody, it is episode something or other 16. Today's Monday, July 15th, 2019. I'm Bobby Frankenberger and you're listening to episode 16 of JBYC. This is the show where the three of us who've been friends for longer than any of us care to remember get together and talk about what's been in our minds the past week. Every week we have a topic or theme, and this week's theme is laundry. Let me go ahead and introduce my fellow co-hosts. First up, as usual, is Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Next is the other guy, EJ, American Johnson, the Edge.
Edge.
How's it going, Edge?
Pretty good. I'm glad you weren't aggressive towards me like Ryan, because I would have put you up against the wall and
Aggressive?
had given you a stern talking to. You talked to Ryan kind of mean. It was kind of mean
Was it?
the way you talked to Ryan.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he just wanted to say that regardless.
Ryan's a
of what
cool
you
guy.
said.
He just wanted to threaten to put me up against the wall. Who's the threat?
Yeah.
Who's the aggressive one?
He just wanted
Really?
to edge you out.
I'm being edgy.
Yeah, I get it. That's cool.
On brand.
Bad bit.
Yeah,
On
how
brand.
have you guys been doing? Today's episode is number 16, so that's our
Sweet
binary
16.
fourth episode anniversary.
Do you
Oh
have
God,
a-
I forgot we were
do you
doing
have a
this.
soundbite you're gonna play?
No,
What's
I
gonna
don't.
happen?
That's just it. I was just waiting for your reaction.
Okay. I was waiting for like a.
Oh yeah. Is that a noise that plays at parties?
Do we get our YouTube driver's license?
Yeah. No. Well, no. It's our to the fourth anniversary.
I know.
We're only
It's also our
16.
quinceañera.
Yeah. Sweet 16.
Do we get a cake or?
No.
A pinata.
Do we get a?
Did you get us anything?
Did you
Or
get us a
just-
car, Bobby?
I didn't get you anything. You know what's happening tomorrow, though? Tomorrow on this side
Not
of
for us.
this, for me, is that my family is finally. Sorry, I was distracting myself. My family, we're taking my kids to go stay with their grandparents for like 9 or 10 days. So I get, so that's gonna be fun. I get like a staycation here. You want to have lunch, Ryan?
Sure.
Ooh.
Or dinner? We can have dinner.
Yeah.
Y'all
I
should
mean,
get some sloppy joes.
it's a little.
You can do laundry together.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm putting you on the spot here in front of the world.
You should be happy. I said sure.
Yeah. Oh.
I think we see each
yeah.
other enough, Bobby.
While they're gone, I'm going to a hairstylist for the first time in ever really. But I've decided that I'm going to do something with this hair. It's doing like a real curly thing right now, but
Looks
when you
good.
go to a hairstylist, I always worry about the tipping. What do you guys do when when someone cuts your hair? What do you
20%.
20%? Is that the
Yeah.
I think that's standard.
Service. Yeah.
I give them a lot more in Vietnam because it's so cheap here, but in the U.S.,
they don't have like a weird you can't tip in this country thing?
I don't even think they tip in
They'll
Vietnam. But
let you
but
know
it's so
if you
cheap. I
can't.
just
There'll be
Are you talking about
there'll be a
America?
sign at the receptionist or whatever. They'll say, yeah, don't do that. But they're not gonna have that sign.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
Well, I know I'm going to be tipping. Like, that's just, you tip everybody in the United States of America. It's just, unfortunately, you do. But I also wonder, like, I'm supposed to come prepared with, like, what I want, but I really just want to sit
You've
down.
never gotten your hair cut before, Bob?
Not at a hair stylist, all right?
They'll
I've
have
gone to the
magazines. Just have an
Supercuts.
idea.
What's the difference?
They're
One costs
There's a
$50?
massive difference.
This is like a
No,
sal-
you
this is like a
actually
hair
do pay for the
salon.
difference, American. Like you actually do pay for like the quality of cut.
I don't know. I think Supercuts gives me a very quality cut.
Nobody's doubting
well,
the
No,
quality of
you're
Supercuts,
wrong.
okay?
No,
Except
I
for
am.
Ryan.
You're both.
No, you guys forget that I went to one of the best hairstylists in Vietnam to get this Donald Trump haircut.
That's
I
true.
So
never
I
knew
actually
that.
know the bill. I know the deal.
Yeah, so
You
that's
should just bring them a picture of Donald Trump like I did, and then you'll look like this.
I feel like they're the experts. They should look at me and they should know what to do. You know? Like I've got
I mean, if
Oh,
you
they'll know what
say
to do.
Kind of what you want, they can do that. Sure.
Do you think
just
so?
have to be
Just bring them a
happy with it.
picture of, do what I always do, and bring them a picture of who's that guy?
I should
So I used to go to a straight razor barber, and that was really nice. And Chris in chat brought that up also. And
Chris Pratt. Just bring him a picture of Chris Pratt.
Okay.
Or
You're
the
gonna
guy
say
who
Chris
played
Hemsworth.
who's the guy that played Jim in The Office? He's got good hair.
I want a sort of undercut sort of
Jim Halpert.
like like quiff or like a pompadour
quiff.
somewhere between those.
John Krasinski.
All right. Enough talk about hair. What have you guys been doing?
literally just bring a picture, and they'll be like, okay, and they'll try to do
Yeah.
that.
Just get
You
a
have
good picture
phone,
of
just have it on the phone. It'll be done.
a pompadour. Who's your favorite pompadour?
My favorite
Adore.
pompadour.
Is that what do you call a person who has a pompadour? A pompadour?
They're a pompadour.
Pompadour?
Pompadorian?
Yeah, a poppydor. Well, so it can't be that easy. I don't trust them, but I'll do it anyway. And
If you don't trust them,
I do trust them.
then you
I don't
shouldn't.
know. I'm,
If
I'm
you don't
try-
trust them, then go to Supercuts
Here.
like you want to.
I don't want
Just
to go
type
to
in
Super-
pompadour in Google image search and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 dudes.
Simple answers do not sit well with my social anxiety. Okay, I have to worry about this. I have to.
The 7th dude's okay too.
In Final Fantasy 14, they have a really
Number
good
9.
pompadour. It's like this long. It's like way, way out there.
Whoa.
It's a lot of maintenance though. That's one thing you gotta talk
Classic
to them about.
Japanese pompadour.
That's like
the biker gang pompadour.
Yeah, that's like what's his name? Johnny, cartoon character.
thing is mnemonic, and it's not
Johnny
that.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo.
Yeah,
pompadour.
actually, yeah.
You have to talk to them about aftercare and maintenance. And
Yeah, I plan on doing that.
your comfort level with that.
The real deal is this place. I've already read their website and everything. You come in there and you tell them kind of what you're looking for, what your lifestyle is. Whoa, the picture that Ryan is showing on the stream, that is a serious pompadour.
Those are what I'm talking about.
That's like a lifestyle decision. When you invest in that kind of pompadour, it's like you're committing to like hours of.
It looks like
Attention
a
every day.
mohawk had a baby with like a black hole or some.
That's a more standard right there. That's your
Yeah.
like good.
That's a lot of
classic
maintenance
pompadour.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh, yeah,
respect
totally.
it, but I'm like the kind of person who I just don't want to do any maintenance or adjusting or anything. I'll put a little.
Yeah, I'm okay with some
wax in it.
product, but
I mean,
but-
I
okay,
hate doing the
how you said
laundry,
that.
so
Hey,
wanna have
our
to spend
episode
time
today
doing
is
my
about
hair.
laundry. So I decided we're gonna do something. The beginning for my part of the segment. We're gonna do first my stinger,
Dang it, Bobby, that's exactly what we don't want.
and
You did it
we're
right.
gonna.
Good job.
Thank you. We're gonna air some dirty laundry today. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna. The point here is, I thought let's complain about some things that we really don't like in the world, because that's the least amount of prep work for me on an episode like laundry.
that's not
That
what
sounds
dirty
like you're
laundry
pulling
means,
a
though.
Ryan.
No, I know dirty laundry. I'm stretching it a little bit. Dirty laundry. I'm not really like I'm not really revealing all of my deepest, darkest secrets or anything. That
Those
I
are
don't want anybody to
skeletons.
know.
You're
Yeah.
okay.
I think we should all have to reveal one deep dark secret though.
Okay, you go first.
Wow.
Oh shit.
got him there. Hold on, American. You don't have to. It's his segment. He should take care of this.
Oh, yeah, you gotta-
Americans
you gotta
trying
air your
to
dirty.
take it over here. So deep,
No, he
dark
didn't,
secret.
and you didn't stinger him in. So
My
That's true.
I don't
You
know
don't
that
have to give your deepest, darkest, but a deep dark secret.
how many deep dark secrets do you have?
Yeah.
All right,
really?
I've got a deep dark
Holy
secret.
cow.
I have a deep dark secret. I'll
Okay.
start it off.
Okay.
I'm currently wearing only underwear. I have no pants on.
That's. I mean, that's kind of like I figure
That's
that's what
whatever.
we're all doing.
That's a lazy deep dark secret.
Yeah.
That's like shallow, kind of gray secret.
Yeah. How about sometimes when I go poop, I'm
Poop.
I try not to use too much toilet paper, and sometimes it breaks in a way where I definitely have to wash my hands afterwards.
That is what I
Hold on,
call
do you
being...
not wash your hands sometimes?
Well, if there
Ooh,
was
that's a
ever
good
no,
question.
I always no. Come on,
That's
when
a
you're at
better deep
home,
dark
let's
secret.
guys. When you're at home, do you always wash your hands?
Yes.
If it's a number 2,
Well, if
Even
it's a
if I
number
pee.
2, but when I'm in a public restroom, I'm definitely washing my hands, even if I don't use the bathroom. Just being in the bathroom, just touching the doors
Yeah,
or leaning
there's-
against
If
the.
I
There's poop
touch my
particles.
toilet or my junk, then I'm washing my hands.
yeah, it's better to do it that way.
If I have company over, I wash my hands.
Thank you for that, at least.
Well, no, here's why I started washing my hands when I go to the restroom like very aggressively is because it's good to wash your hands a lot anyway, just to avoid getting sick.
Yes.
I mean, not like
Yeah.
obsessively, but you should wash your hands like fairly frequently throughout the day. And so like I feel like going to the bathroom is a pretty good frequency to wash your hands.
That's
I
fair.
wash
what I
my
mean?
hands after I
Yeah.
eat and when I go to the bathroom.
You wash your hands after you eat? Man, that's a
Fucking
lot of
grease
hand
all over my
washing.
keyboards. I'm not a
Oh,
crazy
I-
person. I
I
live at a
rinse my
computer.
hands. I rinse my hands after I eat because I don't like the grease hands.
My keyboard will be a mess.
Well, you probably
My
spend. You work at your keyboard, so
I
Like, you-
live at my, computer.
yeah, you probably spend a lot more time in front of your computer than I do. But
Keyboard health.
yeah.
Never neglect it.
So okay, deep dark secret.
Well,
I haven't thought of one
Ryan,
yet.
Okay,
I'm
well,
fine.
we'll come back to you.
I got
Ryan
distracted
lives-
with all
Ryan
that.
lives a clean
I,
life.
I will. I'll come up with something.
Ryan's got clean hands and a clear conscience.
So
Bob,
I'm
you
gonna
gotta get
I'm gonna come.
get the bum gun, though, Bob. That's
Oh,
the
I
solution
want a
if you wanna be a
bidet. Really?
cheapskate.
Oh, but a bum gun is like a handheld bidet, right?
It's great. I like the manual control.
Can
don't
I
like the bid- I don't like
just
the bidet.
use a water gun?
Like a
Theoretically, but
pressure
you would-
washer?
Eh,
No, what
you
the
want the
hell?
pressure.
Why would I
You'd
use a
have to-
pressure washer?
Hey, you're the one that's using as few pieces of toilet paper as you can. You might have some
I'm not trying to
shellacking down
blow
there. I
a
don't fucking
hole
know.
in my
Yeah, you might
anus.
need a little extra.
I don't know how
Might need a little extra
rhino-y
pressure,
and
Bob.
tough it is down there.
Ugh.
Those years of accumulation.
Build up,
You-
yeah.
Yeah. You might need to put some toilet duck in there,
Caked
Bob.
on like lime,
Oh, jeez.
barnacles.
All right, let's do some complaining about things that we don't like in the world. I don't remind me. Okay, so you know whenever you have a pop-up for an update on your computer, and it's always asking you to remind you later. Like it's not asking you that, but it gives you the option. It says like update now, remind me later. I wish that they just would not give you the option because I'm always going to click remind me later, and I shouldn't be clicking it. Just make me update
You
it.
mean? No. They do that. They did that. I don't know if they still do. They did that for a while, Bob, and it was awful. Because you'd be in the middle of a project and your computer would just reset. Or what if in the middle of this live stream right now, your computer just resets?
I would be happier if it didn't just reset, but I had to click on it, but I at least just had to keep the window up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like at least it'll be an always reminder every time I'm doing something. Oh, geez, not
You're
just
an
remind.
update bootlicker, Bobby.
No, it's.
You just want,
I
you
know
want other
myself.
people
I'm
to tell you how to live your
perpetually
life.
procrastinating because I'm given the option.
All right, well then you should be able to like maybe get an app that does that, but it shouldn't be enforced on the masses
I'm sitting on an
You know,
update
I'm learning a
right
lot about
now,
you,
and
Bob.
It's not
I'm learning
making
that
me do anything.
you don't have good toilet hygiene or computer update hygiene.
Damn.
Yeah,
Starting
I've got
to
a
feel
hygiene problem.
Tag
Like
you.
the mask is slipping on Bob's. I always thought you had your shit well together.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah,
Hmm.
you know what? It's about airing our dirty laundry today.
The
So,
crown is falling.
Yeah. How about tongs? Tongs really bother me too. I was actually
Tongs
at
that you
a
used to pick
no,
up meat.
no. I was at a buffet recently, and you know,
Buffet tongs. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I
you
just
know,
said.
like the
pick up
tongs
meat.
that you use.
All I'm thinking is that this is a weird, like, quick 5 minutes, like, stand up that's just really
It could
going
be.
off the rails.
Here's my what do they call it?
Your solid 5 or
yeah,
whatever.
Here's my my solid 5.
Ugh.
I would totally bomb. No, I was at a buffet and it occurred to me, you know, they've got the tongs for the cookies and you know, tongs for some things make sense, like salad or spaghetti, because you don't want to use your hands.
We don't want dirty Bobby hands touching everything.
No, but here's
Exactly.
the thing. Listen, no.
Bobby wants to just live in a world where he doesn't wash his hands and he picks
And they can
up
touch
food
everything, and then we have to touch it afterwards.
Maybe this is going to be less convincing.
and computers just
because
randomly
of what we
shut
just
down on
talked
us all the
about.
time.
When I told you, when I'm in public, I wash my hands. But listen, so
As soon as you get into public,
hold on. You know what? I'm exactly the reason. People like me are
Yeah, you
exactly
better
the
wash your
reason
hands before you
why.
come into our public, you dirty bastard.
People like me are exactly the reason why tongs are a bad idea. So the idea is that you should be picking up the cookies or something, biscuits, with the tongs so that you're not touching the food, right? But you're touching the tongs.
Yeah.
You just touched the tongs that my dirty ass hands just touched. Huh?
Yeah, well,
I mean-
then you can go look. So
Yeah,
then
okay,
you
you
can bring
got
your
us
food
there.
back
Yeah,
to the table.
you'll still
then go
get
to the
us.
bathroom and wash your hands.
So, but listen,
And then go back and eat your
statistically,
you,
if I
you
just,
win this town.
if I just pick up the cookie that is just sitting between two other cookies, then all I end up maybe accidentally touching is the two cookies next to the one cookie, and only those people.
No, you are.
Less germs are spread, but instead everyone touches the tongs, and
Listen, I'll
everyone
tell you
gets
this.
everyone else's tong germs.
If there's
Okay,
if there's
Mr.
a cookie,
Poop Hands.
if there's a cookie like if there's an isolated cookie, if it's isolated,
Yeah.
I will pick that up with my hands guilt
Yeah.
free. But if it's like crammed in there with other cookies, I see somebody else like jam their fingers in there to like if there's cross contamination cookie contact, I get upset.
Yeah, that 3
I
times
don't say
fast.
anything because I have severe social anxiety, but I get upset. You betcha.
Do you give dirty looks?
Oh, I give dirty looks as long as they're not looking in my direction.
I've seen.
I will
I've
give
seen,
a dirty look to the back of their head.
I've seen EJ's dirty looks when he knows that one of his close friends are looking. So he's not wrong about what he's saying right now. Because this is as bad as it gets with us. He goes like this. He might be like if he gave us a dirty look, it'd be like.
Yeah. I go blank.
I don't think I've ever seen that look.
Oh, I can see it in my head right
the
now.
back of your head has though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Feel my subtle, silent wrath.
but not too much, because if you turn around, I'll be very upset.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
another
actually
thing.
confront me.
Also, sprinklers in neighborhoods. People who turn their sprinklers on at like twilight, like right as
We
the
don't have
sun's
that
going
problem.
down. If you live in a neighborhood, you know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Especially the homeowners association who decides to sprinkle public thoroughfares. I just talked about this last time, and it's happening more and more and more. It's really
Are
bothering
you trying
me.
to transition into my segment?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't read the notes this week.
I should go first then, because you're actually literally talking about my segment.
All
whether
right.
you realize
Well,
it or not.
I don't like sprinklers. Twilight is literally the time when it's the hardest to see anything when the sun's going down, and your sprinklers are hitting me in the face. All right, let's. I'm done.
Okay, I thought in the notes you had Twilight spelled really weird, and I thought you were doing some thing, like it was some brand name thing, but I realized you just can't spell Twilight.
How do you spell? Oh, I bet you there's no
GH.
GH after the WI, is there?
Nope.
There's not.
It's.
Oh, at least you're not alone, Bob.
Why would they not?
I don't know.
Does it not
It's
reference
the same
light?
I as in light and night.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's twi. Twi
I
means
believe
tween,
you.
right? I always thought it meant like
I'm-
between light.
I believe you. But
It's
you
like
know what?
between daylight and moonlight.
It's time for the edge.
You know, kind of a share.
So what kind of laundry are you gonna talk about today, Edge?
We're gonna talk about laundry, the kind that you do when you wash your clothes, and then you know what you have to do every time you wash your clothes?
Hang
Yes.
them,
You have to dry them.
fold them. Well, I
So-
include
To
that
dry
in
them
the.
so they don't get mildewy.
Oh yeah. Have you ever
And
left
here's the
your
thing.
Have you ever left the clothes in the washing machine for too long?
Yeah, that's the worst.
I
But then you
have
can just wash them again.
I have literally woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning and sprung out of bed realizing that I left. Because then you open that washing machine. It's got that like warm, musty mildew funk that hits you in the face.
Yeah, it's a stank. Now there's two ways to solve that problem. Actually, you could wash them again, and here's the thing. All right, I'm going to tell you a little tale. I'm going to tell you a story. My entire life, as far back as I can remember, I've always had a washing machine and a
As
dryer
far back as
situation
I can
going.
remember, I've always had
always
a washing
wanted
machine.
to dry my yeah. So I would always use a dryer, and it was like I saw in the movies how people would wash their clothes up to dry, and I thought, oh, that's quaint, right? When I moved to Korea, my apartment had a washing machine, like this little tiny baby personal washing machine, but there was
Like
no
those
dryer.
counter kind of guys.
Yeah, it was just like it was like a little tiny guy, and I was like, what the hell? And it was in the bath. It's kind of cool. Like the washing machines are generally they're either in the bathroom or like on a balcony or something,
Right.
and they just drain out onto the floor. And I like that because the soapy water like cleans your floor. You never have to mop your bathroom. It's pretty cool. So anyway, but there was no dryer, and I was like talking to the other teachers and foreigners and stuff. I was teaching at an English school in Korea, and I was like, "How do you dry your clothes?" And they're like, "You hang them up to dry." And I was like, "What? What?" I couldn't freaking wrap my head around that.
On a line on your balcony.
Yeah, or you can even just do it in your bathroom or whatever. But so that was the first. So then I was very opposed to the idea of drying my laundry on a line. But now I very much prefer it, especially if you can manage to do it in the sunlight, because the sunlight is so cool. Like it cleans your clothes more and it makes them smell really good. It's like I'm a big fan of it. It's awesome now. I'm a total convert to line drying. Okay, like hanging your
sunlight.
clothes up to dry on your balcony is like the best thing you can do for your clothes. It makes your whites brighter. It's very cool. So just don't leave your darks out too long. It will fade your darks if you keep it out for like days and days. I learned that the hard way. But just be moderate in your use of sunlight. Now here's the problem. Neighborhood associations in the United States of America have frequently throughout America banned line drying clothing because
Really?
they think it's an eyesore. Yes. So there's been legislation and like battles fought in state congresses about the right to dry. And I want to know, and this leads up to what you were just talking about with your neighborhood association, Bob. I want to know what has to happen to a human being to make them the kind of shitlord that like comes up with neighborhood association regulations. Like what kind of nasty, miserable human being do you have to be to see someone's laundry drying on a line and think, well, that's an eyesore. That has to come down.
You know what I think it really is? So I think there are really actually a small number of people, very small minority of people who actually do that. And maybe some neighborhood associations don't have any people who do that. But there's a paradox. It's the homeowner, the HOA paradox, because well documented. It's because if nobody really cares that much, if nobody's like that, why do you get noticed? Like, because it's happened to us. Why do you get notices in the mail saying, "Hey, you need to take care of this business"?
What do you get?
We have people staying over
lawn?
and like, you better stop parking on the street.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god! Like what kind of you have to have like a Nazi brain,
Right.
Like
But
you just
so-
have to
so
love.
You understand the
licking
paradox,
boots.
right? Like if nobody cares, then why are you getting these notices? Somebody has to be doing something. Somebody has to be saying something, right?
Yeah.
And I think what it
Your
is
neighbor.
is that everyone, instead of actually caring, they turn into my wife. All right.
My wife.
Is this a Rodney Dangerfield bit?
Hey.
Paul F. Tompkins. My
No,
wife.
No, because Stephanie, my wife, she doesn't really care about that kind of stuff either, but she can sometimes be a spiteful woman. And if she hates that she has these regulations imposed upon her, so she sees other people and she's like, well, why? She's not ever actually, let me say, she's not ever actually reported anybody, but I can imagine the people who are doing this
That you know
are
of.
thinking like this. Yeah, that I know of. But she looks around, she's like, we're not allowed to, we've got notices. Why aren't these people down the street that we just had to dodge over between their cars? Why aren't they getting notices? If we have to get our cars off the street, why don't they have to get their cars off the street? Like,
I can't fathom
but
giving a shit.
but my point is, to wrap it up, is I think the homeowners associations are instigating.
They set you against each other.
Yeah, they're creating this hostility, neighbor against neighbor.
It's
They're
not keeping up the
associating against you.
Joneses, It's fuck the Joneses.
It's like that Twilight Zone episode where they have the 3-headed aliens that are like turning on and off people's lights. Did you ever see that Twilight Zone episode?
No.
All right, so spoiler warning. There's this neighborhood, and like the electricity is like turning on and turning off and turning on and turning off, like throughout the neighborhood, and the neighborhoods get so paranoid. They all start to wonder, like, what's going on? Who's doing this? Is it the Russians? And they start like blaming each other, and then they like murder each other. And then at the very end, there's this 3-headed alien, and they're like talking to each other. Or might be 2-headed, but they're like, "Do you see how it works? We just turn on and off their lights, and then they kill themselves, and then we colonize their planet."
Tonight, behind
Neighborhood
the scary
associations are an alien invasion plan,
Right.
to get us to kill each other.
door.
I
just
don't
think
know,
of the
it's just-
Burbs all the time, and how like, yes, it ends up being kind of right, but also they're all insane people that hate each other, kind of.
Yeah.
You have to hate your fellow neighbor to be active in your neighborhood association.
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of deep.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have a
Anger.
choice. That like what he's talking about with his wife. Like, it's not that she actually takes part. It's just like when you're being imposed by these shitty rules, you're like, well, I'm gonna use them also.
It only takes one person to break the chain, though. That's what you need to. We need to get Stephanie on here and have a
It
neighborhood
takes more
association.
than one person to break an HOA.
we need to have
Because
an
they
intervention.
find you and then end up kicking you out.
Yeah.
We need to get Steph on here and have an intervention and turn her into a neighborhood association Antifa fighter.
Yeah. We're gonna start
I feel
organizing.
like she would hate this.
Yeah.
All three of
I
us
don't know.
being idiots. Like,
Now, someone in the comments said, who was it? Oh, yeah, Justin McGuffin. No, sorry, Justin McGuffin. Your old neighbor had this problem. But 135 Aldebaran said, my property value. So here's the thing. Why would someone's property value go down because they have neighbors, because their clothes are drying? Or why would your property value go down because you have someone stay the night and they park in the street? That's a weird thing to tie value of
Where does
property
it stop?
to.
Where does it stop, EJ? So I got
You
my
have to be
clothesline
perfect.
up. What's to stop somebody from, stringing a clothesline from the roof of their house over to their fence, or from their trailer that's parked on the side of the street over to their
around her neighbor's neck, and then
I wonder do you think it's like literally, I wonder if it's literally just like prudishness about underwear? Like, I don't want to see their underwear.
I don't think so.
That's what I
think
could see
it's a
some
bunch
Southern
of.
person saying.
I think
I can't hear that.
I think it's a bunch of bigoted people trying to keep undesirables out. So
Yeah,
Right,
no,
yes.
that's definitely a big thing.
yeah, that's all it
Actually,
is.
I learned that. Did you
It's
know
classism.
that? I didn't know
Just
this.
McGuffin just said it. Yeah, it's classism basically.
I did some real estate marketing research. Right, this is actually pretty well known. Like it's a fact. You can do the research. But did you know that when they do those, like this neighborhood, homes starting at 200,000 or homes starting at 150,000 or whatever?
Yeah.
Did you know that those are not actually intended to be telling you like, oh, look how low the prices are? They're supposed to tell you this is how high the prices are, and you know that anyone who lives in your neighborhood has to make at least enough money to buy a $250,000 home or whatever.
Yes.
It's like
I
a dog
actually-
whistle.
It's funny that, well, I didn't know that for a fact, but I had a feeling that that's what it is, because in the neighborhood where I live, in the subdivision where I live, or the neighbor. I don't know what's front. Anyway, we walk or run or drive by other subdivisions, and they have those signs up, and they're super fancy looking, and they're in the and they're always in the front. Those signs are never in front of the neighborhoods that have, like vinyl siding. They're always in front of the neighborhoods that have like gates in front of them, or all brick houses, or the ones that are next to the lake, so those, yes.
It's pathetic, honestly, I think. And and they can have their shitty neighborhood associations and suffer, and I will laugh and I will chortle and snort at their misery that they've imposed upon themselves with their classist garbage mentality.
Yeah. Well,
okay, I'm done.
I'm spent.
Good. I like you climaxed and you're done.
Yeah, we don't have to go that far. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's go here.
Everybody, do the robot.
So I just actually folded laundry today. That's a fact. And
Jack.
Yeah, and the thing about the laundry that I fold is Stephanie, my wife, she always goes in and takes the laundry out of the dryer, puts it in the basket, and I fold it. But she always takes all her clothes out right away and lays them neatly on top of the basket. But she leaves all of
Bobby's
my
going hardcore with the airing the dirty laundry about the marriage situation.
Yeah.
That is delightful.
Wow.
She'd tell you, she knows that I know, it's a fact.
Yeah, but she knows that we know.
Right. Well, she'd tell you.
I'm not allowed to fold my clothes.
What?
What?
Oh, someone else has to fold them for you?
Luna tells me that I do not do a sufficient. I'm not good enough.
You know what?
Folding is subpar.
Stop me if this is
wrong,
but every time I've ever looked up videos of how to nicely and efficiently fold your clothes for travel, it's always Asian people.
I mean,
is that a thing? Is that like a cultural thing?
Well, it might be because there's less space in major Asian cities, possibly. Like there's a lot of efficiency.
Maybe.
So that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because are
they doing the thing where you actually roll it up like a burrito?
That's in a lot of them, and I started doing that with some of my clothes, and it works really well.
Yeah. No, I burrito roll. I'm good at folding for travel. I just can't. I'm not allowed to fold for home.
I don't fold
I'm not allowed to home fold.
Everything gets hung up.
Yeah, I'm a hanger too. I love hanging things.
So anyway, my clothes stay in the basket and they get horribly wrinkled, and I would like to know why wrinkling happens and stays forever. Still working on episode 16. Still working on.
Well, Bobby, it's because of plants. Plants have this thing called cellulose.
Yeah.
Cellulose molecules are sticky. Sticky molecules end up sticking together over time,
Ryan's on
so
point.
Cellulose ends up gradually
science.
sticking more and more, and it reforms more and more, and that's why basically the state of the item maintains whatever folded state it was in.
Is that true? So it really is the
molecules stick together,
and that's why they're wrinkled.
Mm-hmm,
so does that mean that synthetics don't wrinkle as easily?
Yes.
Wow, what the Ryan? How did you have this graphic prepared?
I googled.
What is going on?
He's the
Google's
only.
Did you two collaborate on this one?
What? No. What?
No.
You just started
Ryan's
talking
topic or Bob's?
This is mine.
Oh.
So I have.
That was just such a good transition that I
did the work.
That you just stepped all over.
I did the host job and I transitioned.
No, you just shocked me with your show prep and your smooth transition. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I'm in for the ride.
For
all right,
podcast listeners, Ryan has a image prepared already of some
it's
molecules.
A cellulose molecule.
You two literally just blew me away. It felt like we were on a real show for a second. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It's kind of hard to see in this little guy, but you can see the H's and the C's. So the H's really stick to all the other C's very easily in cellulose, in plant fiber.
Professional podcaster, amateur chemist.
Yeah.
The H's and the C's.
Well, I'm not going to say hydrogen and carbon and all the rest.
Don't want to. Don't
I
want
don't
to
know
swim
what, I guess
highfalutin.
I don't know what the O is. I don't think it's oxygen. So I
It
don't
is.
know.
Oxygen.
In cellulose? Okay, whatever.
Mhm.
But yes, so the H's end up connecting to the other C's, and that's why it maintains.
Whoa, you mean it's
the
wrinkles are
condense.
molecular?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa. I guess everything's molecular, huh?
It's
And then
all-
also
I took chemistry for the
Water.
community.
this is the best one I can find.
The lowest
It's
tier
really
chemistry
dumb,
class.
but I like it. It's basically showing that like water gets between the cellulose molecules, so that's why water makes wrinkles worse, also because it basically just kind of breaks everything all up.
Oh, and so that's why you're, yeah, you know, because when you're using your, what does heat have to do with it? Because when you're using your iron,
So
you spray the water on
just-
it, then you
just
iron
like
it.
this, you separate, and then the iron maintains it instead of allowing it to become like wrinkled up again, because
Oh,
like
it gets
it's
those
constantly
sticky
doing
cellulose
state.
molecules to stick together.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty
like a
pretty.
like a bunch of rich neighborhood association Nazis
Sticking together.
stick together.
All right, we'll move on from that one.
But-
So
like-
I used to buy this stuff religiously, Ryan, called wrinkle relaxer. I used to buy that because I hated, properly doing laundry. So I would
Yeah, I
just
don't
always have
iron,
my
I hate
laundry
it.
in my. So this stuff wrinkle relaxer was pretty amazing because you just spray your clothes, and after about 5 or 10 minutes, most of the wrinkles just come out. And I used to buy it by the gallon.
So
when I
they
was in
used
the
to
US.
use formaldehyde to do that.
What? Really?
I
They sprayed their
assume-
clothes with formaldehyde?
Or treated them
assume
with
they
the
don't do that.
clothes. Or treated the clothes with the formaldehyde, yeah. Which I only learned about today. I was like, oh, that seems
That's
terrible.
probably not good for anybody involved, including the clothes.
That caused
Yeah.
a common condition called laundry madness.
I'm so mad at this laundry. It smells like formaldehyde. Okay. I don't know how wrinkle relaxer works, but you know what also
I don't either.
combats wrinkles is if you and this is serious, just tying the two segments together. If
And
you hang your
starching.
laundry to dry, you will never get wrinkles.
I get wrinkles all the time when I hang my laundry.
Oh, let me show you the trick. This is something I've learned.
Live demonstration here, guys.
Also, Maddie
What?
Smith,
Okay.
I don't know about synthetics, but ostensibly they don't wrinkle as much because there's less cellulose and other plant-based materials in there. But I don't know.
It's so weird that this works, Ryan.
I
but
didn't
it
do a
works.
lot
So
of research.
when you're before you put your clothes on the hanger, do this. It's very simple. You just go.
That was a really
Just
cool sound effect.
Flap it like that. You just flap it up and down real quick. If you do that
Mhm.
one time, and then you hang it up, you won't get wrinkles. It's really
Actually,
amazing.
actually, that's what I do with when I'm the one who takes the clothes out of the washing machine. Yeah, I do that. Or
That's
out
what
of the dryer.
I do.
Yeah.
You
What,
just
on
yeah
the-
one. It's like your if you're listening on the podcast, it's the motion of like a matador trying to make a bull angry.
That's very
You do
good.
it very fast. And
Just
you
one
like
time
flap
and
it.
then hang
and
it
if you
up?
flap it one or two times, if you're worried, you could do it 2 times. But yeah, I don't know why, but if you do that and then you hang your clothes up to dry, no wrinkles,
What
and you
happens if do
save
it
so much
3
money.
times?
If you do
What
it
happens
3
if you go over
times,
2?
no one knows.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
No one's lived
You
to
don't-
tell.
No one wants to test the limits. No one wants to push it.
So
I was looking up the formaldehyde link really quick. Formaldehyde was used to permanently link cellulose molecules together. So basically, it kept the structure, like starching, but it still sounds like a horrible idea.
I've experimented with starch for like starching your collars. One time I was really into this idea, like I'm gonna really take care of my dress shirts because I got this job in an office, and I was like, I'm
How
gonna,
long did that last?
look nice every day. It lasted like 3 days, but I tried starching my collars, and it was the worst. Have you ever had a starched collar?
I don't
It's
think
like
so.
It's like cardboard wrapped around your neck. It
I
sucks.
don't think people use starch anymore.
Yeah,
You
people
can
do.
buy it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
I don't.
Might just be
can't
old.
stand it.
I don't use
know
it,
if
so I just
young people
assume
use it.
everyone does what I do.
I just wear artificial synthetics and avoid being caught on fire.
Oh, I'm glad we don't put formaldehyde on our clothes anymore. How did
Or
they sell
having
it?
my shirts melt to me. Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
Want to smell like a funeral home director?
Or high school chemistry teacher.
That's your name, Bob. Your name is perfect for a formaldehyde brand. Frankenberger Formaldehyde.
Yeah.
Frankenberger crematorium and formaldehyde service.
Ooh, it would be a good crematorium, or that would be a good funeral home. Frankenberger Funeral Home.
Frankenberger's food
You
grade
didn't say it
formaldehyde.
right. Say it right.
Frankenberger Funerals.
Frankenberger Funeral Home. Use the
Frankenberger
voice.
Funeral Home.
It's really
Thank you.
funny because Frankenberger would be such a good brand name for just like old-fashioned products that
Yeah.
just kill a bunch of people. Like new Frankenberger sodium nitrates from the makers of Frankenberger saturated fats.
And Frankenberger TNT.
And the promoters of Frankenberger guillotines.
And classic old-fashioned nitroglycerine. We don't make it safe.
Because
Yeah,
we don't
Franken-
want
pause.
to.
Yeah.
Frankenberger formaldehyde. It will make your clothes run.
Okay, Bob. I see that you have a listener email here.
Yeah,
So
let's
do that.
Let's go on to that.
And that was
Frankenberger
something completely
asbestos.
different.
Frankenberger asbestos. Oh, I love the chat. All right, yeah, we got an email. Ready? It's Dear JBYC panel, what was the worst date that you've ever been on, and what happened during it? Sincerely, Average in Albuquerque. I can't, as we've said before, I've basically never dated. I've dated one person in
What's
my
the worst
entire
date you
life.
ever had with Stephanie? What's the worst date you ever had with Stephanie?
Um,
Since we're airing all the dirty laundry about Stephanie
Yes.
tonight.
All right, here we go. I don't know. We don't have a lot of expectations with our dates, so like it's hard to have a.
You
bad
never had
date.
like a big argument, or
I'm sure we've
I mean,
argued.
you never spilled a wine on
I don't.
her white
I'm
dress,
not the kind of person that
or-
really dwells, so like I'm sure we've argued, but I can't remember the times that we have.
What's the worst argument that comes to your head immediately? Come on, we got to get some dirt. When's the last time you argued in a restaurant? Let's put it that
What do
way.
you mean some dirt? We've already gotten plenty of dirt. On
I
it.
want more
never,
dirt.
We would absolutely never argue in a restaurant. That would be,
Really?
yeah, because that would be the type of
Making a
social.
scene?
Yeah, that would be the type of scene that I would be divorced for.
I mean, I couldn't imagine that
Yeah.
either. Like, I would hate myself if I was part of an argument in a crowded place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
so usually the worst.
What about a parking
The worst
lot?
a date gets with me and Stephanie would be just like
Parking
really tense, unspoken, like anger, but we aren't actually acknowledging it.
Yeah. Oh, I know all about passive aggression.
Yeah. So that's the way it is. It's like, so, gonna have a little bit more of that salsa, huh? You decided to go ahead and get the extra chips. Yeah,
Well,
I did. Oh, you're drinking that beer kind of slow. We gonna go home anytime today? So
Oh, the nacho cheese and the guacamole. I guess our children don't have to go to college.
yeah, yeah, that's about as bad as it gets. So, and
Oh, that's boring. Bad.
That's
example.
boring.
yeah. Well, tell me about your bad
I-
dates.
I can't think of an especially bad one. Oh, like you said, I don't really dwell on the past either. Like, I've had really drunk, like, okay, we didn't hang out ever again, kind of like.
Are your
That
dates
was-
so bad that you don't remember them? Like that's it.
I mean,
Blackout drunk
no,
dates.
I'm not blackout drunk dates. No, but it's also just like drunk. Okay, we're not really getting along. Let's drink more.
Right.
Yeah. I've had those. So, and then like, yeah, never talk to each other ever again.
And maybe like
I,
someone else like starts talking to you about like something horrible that you don't want to talk about. Like, I don't know. I can't even think of a good example. Like, I mean, like politics at the bar kind of stuff, but like not even that. It's like I don't want to deal with you, dude, at the other side of the bar kind of stuff
Yeah.
while on a date. But that's like
I've
not
had,
the date. So
I had like an online date in Korea, in Seoul, Korea, with a. So I show up and she's got an Apple bag, like Apple Store bag,
Okay.
like sitting on the table, right? And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Would you buy? It was an iPad, and it was like when iPads were brand new and they were very, very expensive, you know. And I was like, oh, you bought an iPad? I've always, I wanted to see one of those. Those are really cool, huh? And she's like, yeah, I left mine at home, so I bought another one. She literally left it not like in her home country, but like at her hotel where she was living. She was living in a luxury hotel.
And then she bought another one.
And she like forgot it when she went out, so she bought another one. And then she was like, let's go headphone shopping. I'm really into, this is a coincidence, I'm really into high-end headphones. So we went to this headphone store, and this was in like a really fancy shopping mall in Seoul. And they had this was like a designer high-end luxury headphone shop.
Boutique.
And she just casually bought like a $400 pair of headphones. And she's like, I collect headphones. And I was like, wow, okay.
Who collects
So
headphones?
then
She does, Bobby.
she
Keep
does.
up.
And iPads, apparently. So then we're walking by. This is the part I regret the most. We're walking by
Wait,
a Tag
hold on.
Heuer.
It wasn't. Oh, she had the bag. You said she forgot the iPad.
Second one.
She
Yes.
forgot her original iPad at like 30 minutes away at home, and she wanted to play with an iPad, so she bought another one.
This high spender's
Do you
out
get
of
what
your
I'm
league.
saying? Yeah. So she buys the iPad, then she buys the $400 headphones. I swear I'm not making those up. So then we're walking to go to lunch, and I'm like, where do you want to go for lunch? And she's like, well, I really love Outback Steakhouse. This was like my first or second month in Korea.
Wait, she can buy an extra iPad because she left it at home. She loves $400 headphones. She loves collecting these, and she wants to eat at
Yeah.
Outback.
Right.
Oh, hold
Yeah.
on.
And I'm like, that's
Outback
cool
might be
because
fancier there. I don't know.
so I was thinking like, that's cool. I can afford Outback. I mean, like it's a family style restaurant, right? So we're walking to Outback. As we're walking past, I saw a Tag Heuer watch display, and I was just kind of looking at the watches. And I've always wanted. I used to have a Tag Heuer watch that I got as a gift from a client, basically like in trade for some photography work I did. I could never have that kind of luxury watch, like by buying ones. But I had one, and I accidentally threw it away at a Taco Bell. So I've always wanted to get another
Hold on,
Tag
tell
Heuer
that
watch.
story.
Well, I just used to. It was my first watch. I never had a wristwatch before, so my first watch was this really nice luxury Tag Heuer, but they were uncomfortable because I wasn't used to wearing them, and I would take them off when I would eat. So I took it off at a Taco Bell when I was eating one day, and then I accidentally threw it away, and I didn't realize it until about 3 hours later. And by the time I came back, it was.
Did you take it off
No,
I'm so
when you
sorry.
took your watch
That's
off when you
really
ate? Did
bad.
you do it very meticulously and carefully and place it right next?
Yeah,
to
I would
your
lay it down
plate?
on the tray.
It'd
Yeah,
be right here on the
Just 'cause-
left-hand side of the tray. You'd place your fork and spoon and knife on you.
I mean, it was uncomfortable, so I took it off. I don't know. I don't care anymore, but it was my first watch, so I lost it. So I've always wanted another Tag Heuer watch. So I was just kind of like gazing lustfully at these watches, and then she's like, "Oh, you like those watches?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I could buy you one if you want." Or she's like, "You want me to buy you one?" And she was just like,
So you
very
had a
casual.
low
and I
moment.
knew, and I was like, but here's the problem. I had this like toxic masculinity pride thing, and I was like, no. I don't want her to know that I'm not extremely wealthy like her.
Oh, good. You didn't
So I
have a
said
low
no.
moment. Good job.
So
And
you
I've
said no,
always
but for
regretted
all
that.
the wrong reasons.
To this day, I wish I let her buy me the Tag Heuer watch. So anyway, we go to the Outback
Clearly, she had
Steakhouse.
money to burn.
Right. And it turns out that, yes, in Korea, like Ryan predicted, Outback Steakhouse is a luxury restaurant.
Oh no.
And the cheapest thing on the menu was like $50. And she ordered something that was like $70, and then she got like a $20 dessert, and like we had a couple of it was a $170 ticket at the end, right? And they bring the ticket, and I'm just, look, this is a lunch date, first lunch date. I usually
was
go like have a
lunch? It
cup of
wasn't dinner?
coffee or something. A lunch date, yeah.
Wow, this was an
So
intense
they bring the
lunch
ticket.
date, man.
And as the ticket comes, she's just like looking at her phone, like, the expectations is that it's just like, okay, you're gonna pay. You know what I mean? Like a
Right,
gender role
right.
thing, I guess, right?
Well, you're already toxically masculine, so.
Yeah, so I toxic masculinity'd my wallet out of my pocket and paid the $170 ticket, and then like through conversation after that was the most expensive meal like I've ever, and I was just so mad. Turned out after we talked a little bit more, her father is like literally the sixth richest person in Saudi Arabia. Her father is the sixth richest man in Saudi
Whoa.
Arabia, and like the 50th richest person in the world. And his construction company did the renovation for the Dome of the Rock, which is one of the
Oh
most
my
sacred places in like Islamic faith. So this guy is freaking loaded to the gills.
The one that
right?
got away, Edge.
Yeah, and she would be like, but it was just it was an awful date because I didn't take the watch, and B, I had to pay $170 for the meal, and she just like, she literally didn't have a concept of money. Like, I literally don't think she knew what was expensive and what wasn't.
She
lived, you know what I mean, in a luxury hotel.
She
every
put
night.
the extra iPad she bought back into like some homeless guy's hat on the side of the street on her way back to the hotel.
Well,
and
no, I'm sure she kept. Rich people don't get rich by giving away their iPads.
Yeah. she put that up on eBay. Goddamn.
And ever since this date, you've hated capitalism.
This was it. This is the one that broke you.
Had I got the watch, I would still be in the game.
She wasn't unpleasant. Like, she was nice. She was a nice person.
Right.
But just the way that she so casually. I don't know. It was just so interesting. I don't know. Maybe I guess that's not my worst date, but it's my most interesting bad date. Let's put it that way.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like that.
She would. Oh, by the way, like she like postscript. She would like often. We dated for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, and before we stopped talking to each other, but after like our second week, she was like, "Hey, do you want to fly with me to Africa? We can go hunting with my brothers. They're big game hunters."
Oh my gosh.
She was serious. After one, like, that would be like our third date.
You could have been a
They
different
have a
person
helicopter.
completely.
It was so bizarre.
I know.
That was my one brush with how the other half lives. You know,
You could have insane divorce money and then like been some kind of world traveling weirdo.
Yeah. It's
But now
okay
you're
though,
just
Brian,
That's how it
because
works in
You're
Saudi
world
Arabia,
traveling
right?
without money.
because now he's living it up on all that YouTube ad money.
Oh yeah.
Making it rain. Yeah. Do you
So
don't you love
anyway.
it? Don't you do you get people telling you like you're just doing this for all the money, like on your YouTube
Yeah,
videos?
right.
You're doing this.
Every single one of my
You're
videos
the-
gets demonetized.
Yeah.
Really?
My biggest video, my most viewed video, 500,000 views. I made $120.
Yeah, that's impressive to me.
500,000 views.
Yeah.
And I made
That's
$120.
dark.
Yeah. Right. But I laugh so hard every time someone implies that oh, all that YouTube money you're getting. Anyway,
We make like $1 an hour,
YouTuber
folks.
problems. Am I right?
Yeah, I don't have those.
Yeah. That's I've
Don't really
never
have a good
dated, so I
example.
don't have any related stories. So I can't relate.
I never dated famous or rich people, so I don't have any good stories.
That blows my mind. You
Yeah,
could've-
it was a bizarre experience.
So you didn't know until after the fact?
It was like a first date, online date kind of thing.
No, when did you find out that she was
When she mentioned the
heiress
second
to the 50th?
Oh, that.
Maybe like
greatest-
the second day. Actually, this is another kind of little funny sub note. She was like, "Thank you for the dinner. I'll buy next time." And then she took me to this curry restaurant that was like $7 a plate.
But was it good?
It was good, but she spent like $14, and we drank water, by the way, because they didn't serve alcohol. So I'm not
Man.
saying, look, money can't buy love, but
Yeah, can't buy
money
me
can make me not want to love you.
You can also buy really good food.
Yeah, exactly. It was probably
It was
good
just an
for-
Outback steak, dude. It wasn't like a
So the prices
It
are
was
way
exactly
higher
like an
there, but the
Outback steak.
food is exactly the same.
food is exactly the same.
Oh, that's
And
real
we
unfortunate.
didn't even get a bloomin' onion or nothing.
Oh, like if the bloomin' onion was $50, I could buy that.
When's the last time you
I
guys
would've
had a
bought
blooming
it.
onion? I don't feel like they're that good.
Well, I think you're right. I think the last time I had a bloomin' onion, I was on the toilet all day.
You got to have it with that.
Didn't wash my hands. I was.
What is
loving
it
those.
called?
We're done with that. We
How
don't
do you
mix
say
money
beer in
into that
Australian? Foster's? Foster's.
Foster's. Australian for
You're
beer.
close,
Yeah,
though.
Maddie Smith knows all
Yeah.
about that. Foster's.
You don't touch that bloomin' onion until after your second Foster's, and then it's delicious.
I don't think blooming onions are an actual Australian thing.
Yeah, don't onions?
I don't-
That's
they're
how they grow
Outback.
in Australia, right?
Sorry. Everyone just like stopped for a second trying to think of a joke, and we're all like, we don't have anything.
That's a cultural. God, I forgot how to do an. That's cultural appropriation, mate.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. for an American Australian.
Yeah. American in
Um,
Australia.
Bloomin'.
I don't have any deep dark secrets I can think of.
Yeah,
I've been
we gave
thinking
you a
the whole time.
whole episode to come up with dirty
Maybe half
laundry
an
to air.
episode.
Yeah.
Not even a single dirty laundry secret.
No. Oh, I have one that'll work for
SMH.
you, American. I've been looking at
God.
houses.
You're gonna buy a house?
I've been looking at houses. I'm not going to buy a house because I'm too poor, but I've been looking at
It's like
houses.
house porn.
Yeah,
You're just like,
sitting on the
Yeah.
toilet browsing Zillow.
I mean, yes, browsing Zillow, not on the toilet. Yes.
Well, you got the
buy
phone
one of
app,
those.
right? Why not?
No.
Don't sometimes they sell a house for like $500 for some reason?
When they're foreclosed and there's holes in the floor, yeah.
And someone
Yeah.
and a whole family was murdered in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can buy a murder house.
That's a good question. So, what would make you like? How many people would have to be murdered in a house for you to not want to buy it?
I don't think that I would. I like to think I wouldn't care about that kind of thing.
I don't
but if
think
it
I
was
care
like,
either.
if it was like 100 people, I don't think I'd buy it.
I think if the home was super old and big, also, I would be less likely because I know my brain would mess with me in whether or not there's ghosts or not. I would believe
Yeah.
there were.
Like if it were a haunted mansion.
Yes.
Brian doesn't want
or
the
like
haunted mansion.
the murder house that I can't think of the name of, which I'll find out right now. It had like trap doors and stuff.
Jabberjay has a good
Winchester.
point that
The
how they were
Winchester
murdered is
mansion.
a factor.
The Winchester Mansion. Like
And
people
what
were
was the
brought there to be
factor?
killed.
How they
How?
were murdered
I
factors
mean,
in.
like let's say there were 10 people all murdered in 10 different gruesome ways. Would you buy the
Yes,
house?
exactly.
That's almost certainly a haunted house right there. If you buy a house that's over 100 years old, though, you know that people have died in that house.
No, you don't.
That's like statistically speaking.
Somebody had to die there, right?
No, people
People die all the
also-
time.
Yes, they do, but they also die in like retirement homes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess.
Rich people.
Rich people. Yeah. Some people die in
I'm not
hospitals.
going to be.
Yeah, chat. Winchester Mansion's just the one that's built super weird with like staircases going to nowhere and doors that go
Oh,
from
yeah.
the second floor outside. H.H. Ohms was something else that had like the traps and stuff. That's what I was thinking of.
What about what about a
Oh.
sweater that someone
What?
died in? Would you
Would I wear a dead sweater?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of personal. I would at
Like
least
a-
want like written permission prior.
Well, I mean, presumably you didn't steal the
I've-
sweater. You know,
You
like,
I
found
would
it in
wear
the-
any clothes that a dead person, because I used to. I almost exclusively shopped at Goodwill when I lived in
You
America.
have
So
100%
I
worn
was
dead people's
basically
clothes.
only wearing dead people's clothes. But
That's
it's
fair.
different if it's the shirt somebody died in.
You've probably done that.
I would wear if it was like a nice leather jacket. I would have no qualms.
have you heard of these surveys or studies
If it
that
was a
they've
nice
done?
sweater, I might think about
These studies that they've done where they would ask people about like sweaters and if they'd wear it or if they'd put it on and then they would, but then they'd ask the other people with the same sweater and tell them that it was like Jeffrey Dahmer's sweater or like some other serial killer's sweater or something like that, and then see if the people would put the sweater on and wear it around.
Like, wait, so I don't understand though. Like, what's
The idea was they were
point?
testing if people had like magical thinking about items of clothing or something like that, like just by the fact that it was owned by a person that was a terrible person, like here's an
It'll
old...
give them intrusive thoughts or something.
No,
Like,
no, they would
I wanna
ask
kill
them
people?
if they will put them on and just see how many people would or would not wear the sweater.
Oh yeah, that was it. Okay, just the would you or won't you? Okay.
Yeah. So would you wear a
Yeah, I don't care.
Bundy sweater?
I mean, what?
Sure. I'm not gonna
Why
wear it
would
for
I?
long
Why would I be in a situation like?
because you're in
If
a
I
study.
could choose another sweater, I would choose another sweater.
But you can't. It's a thought experiment. Stop trying to weasel out of it.
What if
Like
it's
it's-
a weird thought experiment?
Somebody
This is
comes
worse
up
than
to
the
you and
trolley
says-
There's no
problem.
middle ground. Run
Wear
over
this-
someone.
Wear this sweater. I guess that
If
is a
someone
weird
comes
situation.
up to me and tells me to wear a sweater, I'm not giving them the time
What
of
if
day.
it's like a really nice sweater, and you're like, man, this sweater is awesome.
I'm not that into sweaters, Bob. I mean, come on.
Then make it a watch.
Can we upgrade this
or
to like a leather
something.
jacket? A watch? I will. If it's a nice watch,
But
yeah,
it's
I'll wear it.
but it's Ted Bundy's
I wouldn't
watch.
tell people about it though. I wouldn't tell people.
Yeah.
I would try to erase the memory of Ted Bundy from the watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I only
If it
have
was
like
like a-
one sweater, and it says "Eat the Rich" and it has a bunch of wolves on it and little bones.
That's a badass sweater, Ryan.
That is a cool sweater.
So if Ryan killed a bunch of people, would you wear that sweater, Bobby?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't even have to ask me to. I would.
Interesting story about this sweater.
My friend,
That's a great conversation.
he
starter.
actually did eat the rich.
Oh man, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good way to start this. Oh, that sound means that it's the end of the episodes, and we're gonna head on out of here. That's it for the show. Fun talk, guys. Talking about laundry. That was the week's theme. If you want to vote on what the show's future themes are going to be, you can head on over to our Discord server where we have a poll up. Next week's theme has already been decided, though. It's been decided by the community. And I'm going to find out what that theme is going to be right now, because for some reason, this is always the thing I forget to do. That theme is The Dark. That's it. The Dark. So next week's theme is The Dark, episode 17, 2 to the 4th plus 1.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Certainly we'll find out through
I
our
am.
great conversation. If you want us to talk about anything in particular having to do with the dark, send us that kind of stuff, prompts, news stories, whatever having to do with that theme. And did you know that we aren't the ones who decide the topics to be voted on? Who decides?
You decide.
That's right. Our after party chat picks all the items to go on the poll, and then everyone votes on the theme. That's kind of the way this show. That's the whole point of the show. You guys tell us what to vote to put on the poll, and we get you guys to vote on it, and you tell us what we're going to be talking about. So if you want to get something on the poll, come hang out with us live and stay for the after party on YouTube. Find our email and Twitter at jbyc.net. Watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/JBYC show every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, or listen to the podcast wherever you get podcasts. Live listeners, hang out. We're about to start the after party. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what we'll talk about, but it'll be good. And that's it from me, Bobby, and Ryan, and The Edge. Say goodbye, everyone. I said say goodbye.
Bye, goodbye. Get out of here.
Shut up.
Just do it.
Ow!